Works for me, hopefully it works for you guys. EG's Jaedong is our blue Zerg spawning on the right top side of the merry-go-round. He is up 1-0 over Complexity's hendralisk. As good old Henry is our red Zerg spawning at the 6 o'clock position of this map. To confirm, this is a match of the... Which part of the bracket is this? Is this lower round 1 or lower round 2, right? Wow, so hendralisk defeated Kane 2-0 as well. Man, I'm really shocked. I must say I'm a little bit surprised to see Kane bomb out of the tournament this early. I actually thought he had what it takes to perhaps qualify for the main event. Unfortunately, that's not going to get it. Yeah, there's no more hope for that. As Kane lost in the first round against Bunny, he actually didn't win a single game. 0-2, and he's done. Of course, a fantastic victory for hendralisk, winning 2-0 over Jaedong. That is really impressive. Anyways. Yes, once more. Currently, Jaedong is leading 1-0. hendralisk is good in ZvZ though, especially on this map. I've seen him bust out a couple of crazy builds in the past, where he went with stuff like +1 carapace and just a crazy amount of Zerglings, where he was hiding Zerglings in his main base and stuff like that. Like hendralisk, if you talk about tricks up his sleeve, well, hendralisk has plenty of tricks in ZvZ, that's for sure. You see the spawning pool go down behind the middle line for Jaedong, over here on the right top side of this map. As the overlords pass each other, so both players know where each other spawn. Henry is going to get police when he, well, his first overlord went into the wrong direction. Well, Jaedong's overlord went in the right direction, so that is a small advantage for Jaedong, but shouldn't really change all that much. Jaedong will see the timing of this hatchery, he will see the amount of HP on it, he'll be like, cool, so you went hatchery first. And hendralisk say, well, yep, that's right, and now I can't do anything about your overlord checking my main base. And the OV should be able to scout both extractors easily, which is a pretty big tell. But hendralisk is type of Zerg, even when you scout him mine 100 gas, don't think you know what he's up to, because even just last weekend I casted a couple of his games on Red Bull Battlegrounds Detroit, where he mined 100 gas, started speed, cancelled speed, went into layer, started missile attacks, cancelled missile attacks, got a roach warren, never used it, and went into mutalisk. It's just, you know, the level of mind games was a little too high for my very, very simple, narrow-minded Protoss brain to understand. But in the end, he was able to sort of win the game, and then he still lost it after he went into Brutal Lords very quickly. This story is about as complicated as the game was, I guarantee you guys that. I am not exaggerating. Jaedong made a couple of links early on. He might be able to pick up a drone with this or two. Could be very frustrating. hendralisk has a couple of Zerglings on his way. It's 2 against 6 Zerglings for now. Henry is making 6 more Zerglings, so he should be fine with 8 against 6. Don't want to end up losing a drone. He has his queen now as well. He really needs to start fighting. Okay, with 4 Zerglings and a queen, he should be more than fine. Good micro so far on these Zerglings from hendralisk. You guys see that? Did not lose. Maybe he lost 1 lane, but still, that could have gone a lot worse. 2 more overlords on their way. Henry is indeed a type of Zerg that will just out of nowhere make 18 Zerglings and try to end the game. As the spine crawler is going down for Jaedong. hendralisk had a spine on the way, but I think he cancelled it. But for now it is nothing but drones. Or good old Henry. This is lower bracket round 2. If you lose this best of 3, you are out. You are officially done. You will be eliminated off the tournament. Well, if you win this best of 3, then you still have to win, I believe, 2 more series, maybe even 3 more to qualify for the main event. Otherwise you will go home with empty hands as well. Of course, as soon as you qualify for the main event, the way that IEM works is always that the entire top 16 does get paid. It's something that Carmack has been very keen on for the longest amount of time. 16 more links on the way for hendralisk, who is not actually mining any gas, so it's just Zerglings and Zerglings only up to this point. That's going to put him up to 30 Zerglings already. Well, surprisingly enough, he's still even in workers. Soon Jaedong will take a nice worker advantage though. And of course Jaedong does have his defensive baiting nest on the way, at least I think it is going to be defensive. He's mining quite a bit of gas, so he could potentially be aggressive with Zerglings as well. He does still have the spine at home. Things are about to get a little dicey in the ZvZ. I do really wonder where hendralisk is going to take this, because other than, okay, he does have, okay, he's just going to try to win the game with speedlings, I guess, but it seems like Jaedong has a very, very strong defensive setup. He has banelings, or at least banelings are morphing. There are 2 queens on the ramp. There is a spine crawler as well. Good to infuse there by Jaedong, and hendralisk is already losing a lot of Zerglings. He's getting some work done, but I think these banelings should be enough. Well, okay, that's almost a nail in the coffin already for this aggression. Even the second bailing gets a reasonable connection over here. Jaedong is handling this with ease. He's only up 5 drones, so if this doesn't work for hendralisk, it's not the end of the world. He will not just be down in LG yet, but you know, he has to fight an uphill battle, that's for sure. That's careful. Of course, there are always some nerves as well. You will so often hear Zerg players that play on this level be like, man, normally I could have won this, I should have won this, but somehow like my one Zergling didn't separate from the rest of the pack, and instead of sending one Zergling to the Baneling, I sent my 17 Zerglings, and they all hugged the Baneling real tight before the Baneling detonated. And that is, I'm glad I'm not a Zerg player in a competitive ZvZ. My heart would not be able to handle that. You guys saw this morning how nervous I get when things go wrong. Imagine if I play a ZvZ. I'm too old for that level of stress. A couple of Zerglings from Jaedong are about to counterattack on the other side of the map. There are still no Banelings on the way for hendralisk. He does have his Roach Warren. His Roach Warren finished up. He has 6 Roaches on the way, but the Roaches are not out yet. If those Banelings get close to the middle line, things could get very, very tricky. At the same time, hendralisk is still trying to be as annoying as possible, try to counterattack. Transfuse does land. And Jaedong will actually retreat. He will actually come home with all of his Zerglings. He does still have 2 very slow Banelings as well in the middle of the map. It is nothing but Zerglings. Okay, so hendralisk is probably gonna go for Zergling Roach all in on layer. He's still, or excuse me, on the hatchery tag. He's still not on the way. Oh, he still didn't start his late tag yet. Man, I have a very hard time talking this morning. Slash afternoon slash. I have no idea what it is since my travel schedule after Red Bull Battlegrounds Detroit was really messed up. I was stuck at the airport for 24 hours. So that didn't help. Anyways, there are 18 Zerglings on the way now for Henry. This is such an important scout for Jaedong, because if Jaedong didn't have an idea of what was going on yet, he will definitely know now. He's like, cool, you're still on hatchery tag, that is awesome. I see your roaches, I'll probably raise you with spine crawlers. He had more spines. Actually a little bit worried over here for Jaedong. He has 23 Zerglings, 2 Banelings. Jaedong does have 14 roaches on the way though, and with his own 14 roaches he should be fine. This one spine will buy a little bit of time for him. These Banelings actually splash quite a bit on all of these additional roaches from hendralisk, and Jaedong is looking very, very healthy here. He's 10 workers ahead. These Banelings, of course, from hendralisk are scary, and they get a couple of reasonable connections there as well. Jaedong only had 2 Banelings on its own, but he has more roaches, and being a defensive player and already being up in roaches is pretty much everything you dream of in a ZvZ. Ooh, those Banelings did get a lot of splash damage done, but I think in the end, it should not matter. As Jaedong here with his queens, with his roaches, and with his very quick reinforcements is going to be able to win game number 2 pretty convincingly.